Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, life-altering question literally everyone faces at some point. Should you get a job or should you start a business? To really get into the nuts and bolts of this, the mechanics, the risks, the rewards of both paths, we're going to follow the journeys of two best friends from a small town in Texas, Daniel and Michael. Now, both of these guys had huge dreams of success, but as you'll see, they had two wildly different visions for how to actually get there.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right after college, Daniel's goal was crystal clear. He wanted to lock down a stable job at a big tech company, complete with a regular salary, paid holidays, and a super predictable schedule. Meanwhile, Michael, he completely bypassed that traditional corporate route to build a home services business totally from scratch. So right out of the gate, we have this incredible contrast. Daniel immediately steps into the cozy comfort of corporate benefits, while Michael is staring down the unpredictable, honestly stressful reality of some days having customers and other days having absolutely zero income coming in.
Section 1. Defining the paths.
Before we can even think about evaluating who made the right choice, we really need an impartial baseline. So what is a job? Fundamentally, a job means working for an organization where you exchange your time and skills for a salary. And for Daniel, this setup is incredibly efficient. He works his hours, he handles his assigned responsibilities, and every 2 weeks, boom, like clockwork, a predictable paycheck arrives. And let me tell you, that predictability is a massive asset. Because of that structure, Daniel can comfortably and accurately plan out his rent, his grocery budget, his savings, all without losing a wink of sleep over how the company is going to pay its electricity bill.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it contrasts Daniel's setup with Michael's. A business is defined by creating a product or service and selling it directly to customers. So when Michael chose this path, he didn't just become an employee, he became the entire company. In those early days, he wasn't just out there doing the home services. No, he had to personally answer the ringing phones, mock up the advertisements, buy the equipment, and balance the books. He had to generate the very revenue that would eventually pay his own salary. It's the whole shebang.
Section 2. The realities of risk and income. When you get right down to it, the core tension between choosing a job or starting a business almost always comes down to financial risk. When you have a job, the company basically acts as this massive financial shield. Think about it. If sales suddenly tank or a multi-million-dollar product launch completely flops, Daniel's company absorbs that blow. Sure, Daniel might have a highly stressful week at the office, but he doesn't personally lose his own savings. Michael, on the flip side, bears the full weight of the business risk. He put his own hard-earned savings on the line to buy equipment. If his home services business failed, that money was gone. He absorbs that financial loss directly.
But hey, with that massive risk comes a completely different trajectory for income. For Daniel, a job offers steady, predictable income. As he gains experience, he gets reliable salary increases and promotions. It's a very safe, gradual upward slope. For Michael, though, his business income is highly unpredictable. Some months are absolutely fantastic and others are terrifyingly slow. However, by sacrificing that short-term stability, Michael unlocks incredible long-term earning potential. His income isn't capped by some corporate salary band, it's literally limited only by how much he can scale and grow his business.
Section 3. Time, freedom, and system building.
Okay, we need to address a huge myth out there. The idea that starting a business means you instantly unlock total free time. Well, let's look at Daniel for a second. We often think of entrepreneurs as the truly free ones, but Daniel has a very specific, highly valuable type of freedom. With his regular paycheck, health benefits, and paid holidays, Daniel enjoys a fixed schedule. When 5 o'clock hits, Daniel can literally leave his work at the office and unplug. His true freedom lies in the absolute peace of mind provided by strong corporate safety nets and a crystal clear boundary between his professional and personal life.
Let's move to Michael and see how this builds. Because remember that myth about instant free time? Yeah, Michael actually worked way longer hours than Daniel for years. In the beginning, step 1, he did everything manually. But eventually, those grueling early mornings and late nights paid off. Step 2, he was able to hire 2 employees. Then step 3, he expanded to 5. And finally, step 4, he scaled to 10 employees and transitioned from doing the physical labor himself to actually building and managing a self-sustaining system. And folks, that is exactly how a business owner eventually buys back their time.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real difference in what you actually learn day to day on these two paths. A job allows you to hyper-specialize. Daniel focuses deeply on corporate training, mastering new specific technologies, and refining management skills just within his department. A new business, however, absolutely forces you into generalization. Michael had no choice but to wear every single hat. He had to learn marketing, sales, accounting, finance, HR, and high-level business strategy all at once. One path makes you a master of a specific trade. The other forces you to become a master of the entire machine.
Section 4. The economic downturn.
So everything was humming along smoothly for both guys until the American economy shifted. Daniel's tech company started drastically cutting expenses, and suddenly Daniel found himself genuinely worried about Michael losing his home service customers. He actually asks Michael, "Hey, how are you going to survive if your customers dry up?" Michael acknowledges the risk but points out he's been diligently building emergency savings and diversifying his revenue streams. And then, Michael turns the tables. He asks Daniel a crucial question. What happens if your company eliminates your position? I really want to pause on this because it's a brilliant counter question. It completely shatters Daniel's illusion of perfect safety. It reveals a hard truth. Relying entirely on one employer for 100% of your income means a job is actually not completely risk-free either.
This realization was a massive breakthrough for both of them. Instead of just criticizing each other's chosen paths, they started mutual learning. Daniel realized, wow, I need to diversify, so he used his steady corporate income to proactively build outside investments. Meanwhile, Michael, realizing he needed way more structure as his team grew, learned professional management and long-term financial planning from Daniel's corporate experience. They basically borrowed the best strategies from one another to become financially smarter and just much more resilient overall.
Section 5. Redefining true success.
Let's fast forward years later. Daniel has successfully climbed the ladder to become a senior corporate manager, and Michael is a highly successful local employer running a thriving business. They meet back up at the very same coffee shop where they started, and looking back on their journeys, they shared a huge realization. Success means creating a life that matches your goals and responsibilities. So the crucial point is this. When they were young, one thought success meant a fancy job title, and the other thought it meant being the CEO of your own company. But ultimately, success isn't defined by the specific vehicle you choose. It's defined by how well that vehicle matches your personal risk tolerance, your personality, and the actual life you want to build.
And that leaves us with the absolute most important question of this entire explainer. Which path matches your skills, your goals, and your willingness to take risks? Whether you want the structured growth and rock-solid benefits of employment or the challenging, high-ceiling thrill of entrepreneurship, there is absolutely no wrong answer here, only the answer that is right for you. Your job doesn't define you, and your business doesn't define you. Your decisions do. So take a step back, evaluate your own trajectory, stop worrying about what society expects of you, and choose the road that leads to your best life. Keep learning, keep pushing forward, and thank you so much for joining